On America's Next Top Model.
We were showing the behind the scenes of what the fashion world was.
I wanted to fight against the fashion industry.
We had an audience of over 100 million people.
Oh my God, I think we've built a monster.
I realized Tyra would do anything for the success of her show.
I knew I went too far.
Okay, so I'm sure you've seen the chatter online and in the headlines about this. A new Netflix docuseries titled Reality Check, America's Next Top Model, is exposing what happened behind the scenes and off camera, and it's leaving fans of the show with their mouths just agape. I mean, we're talking about it here on the team. Just can't believe some of the things that were included. A major focus is the judges' relationships with the host and executive producer of the show, Tyra Banks, and one of the former judges, acclaimed photographer Nigel Barker, with us in studio this morning.
Thank you.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good to be here.
You know, as I was watching this, I just thought to myself, how surreal it must be for you to watch back this documentary.
You know what I mean?
And
I think,
relive it again,
right?
100%.
I mean, it's super surreal. And you look at it with sort of different eyes, you know, no doubt. I mean, I think if you look back 20 years at anything, forget about it. My wedding photographs, you know, I'm like, yes. I had hair, you know, was hair in fashion? Anyway, you know, you can't help but sort of judge almost everything. And there's no doubt a lot of things that the world was saying, and certainly we were saying, is out of step with how it would be handled today. I think what you do have to remember, though, is shows like Top Model, and I don't think it necessarily gets enough credit for this sort of thing, started a lot of those conversations in the first place, you know, about diversity, about shape and about size, and whether it handled it well, that's another question. But it did actually start those conversations, and Tyra took risks to do so. You know, and I think that is a piece of it where, you know, it's sometimes very easy to be incredibly judgmental, but not very kind about, you know, what was good as much as what was wrong.
Right.
You know?
And I know networks, a lot of people said no to her
yeah,
before she got a yes.
Pretty
And Nick, you were a super fan
Well, it was
of the
indeed,
show.
You know, and Mark and I were even talking about how Tyra answered many of the questions, but a lot of people didn't feel as though she was as truthful as she could have been. Do you feel like Tyra answered all the questions and really took accountability for her role in what so many felt like may have been like a toxic environment at the time?
Look, we all watched the documentary, or if you haven't, watch it, because you'll see exactly what we're talking about. She answers it the way she answers it. I can't speak for why or how, but we were all interviewed in the same way, in the same light, in the same situation, and given the same amount of time to do our questions and answer our questions. And, you know, she has to, you know, and she's made decisions on what she was going to say. And she's a really smart woman.
Absolutely.
You know, so she knows exactly what she's doing
savvy.
and why. She's very savvy, very, very media savvy, and understands all these things. So, you know, with that being said, did I think that she came off warm? I know that she can be a lot friendlier. I don't know, you know, maybe she's having a bad day at the time. I don't know, you know, but it definitely came off a little cold, and, you know, it came off a little distant. And I think that's a shame, because it's not really how I remember her being during the filming of it either, you know.
And you were on 8 cycles, right?
More
and
than that.
More 10? How many?
18.
18.
But yeah.
Well, then
you
I
were
was
just a little girl.
Yes,
So it's
I was
okay.
little.
You only remember 8.
So, but your contract, right, and Miss J's contract, Jay Alexander's, all expired, and then you weren't invited back.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Did you ever get an explanation? And what's your relationship like with Tyra these days?
My relationship now is okay, you know, as in, we were always colleagues. I don't think we were ever like bosom buddies, regardless. I mean, there are times when you work with someone and you become really friendly and you're lifelong friends. And actually the Jays and myself were like that. You know, we work together, we party together, we hang out together when we're at, you know, foreign locations on Top Model. We'd go off shopping together. They were a really fun couple of guys to hang out with. You know, and we were like sort of an odd trio. You know, but we had a...
But it worked.
But it worked, and it was super fun. You know, but you know, I think with Tyra, and certainly, you know, she was also very busy. She was managing the show, running the show, executive producing the show, creating the show, figuring out all the pieces to the puzzle. So she didn't actually have the time to perhaps go shopping and do all the fun things with us that create those sorts of relationships. But yeah, it was tough to hear when we got sort of released, because it was on the 11th hour, on the last final day, that contractually they had to tell us. After being on a show for 17 seasons, it was season 18, and I had I had 2 children at that point. You know, your mortgage, you're living, and this is your show, this is your life, and you were expected, you'd carved out the next several months of your life to be working on this show, and then it's
It
pulled.
took over everything. Yeah.
It was
we know.
pulled from
Yeah.
under you.
We know that world well, for sure. Just about a minute left, though. Tyra ends with this huge tease at the end of the documentary that there's a cycle 25. Have you been approached about that? And is that something that you would partake in?
Everyone's talking about it. I mean, I think if you throw it into the world, then perhaps it can come true. But there's no doubt that this documentary is now the #1 show on Netflix globally. There's clearly an audience. So whether it actually happens or not, I don't know. Whether it should happen, I don't think so. But it may well happen because, again, people are hungry.
What else we're hungry for? Martinis.
Martinis, you're on a martini tour.
I am.
and here
Barker
in
Martinis.
Chicago.
Yeah, espresso martinis, the Barker company. So we launched this a year ago. It's been very exciting. Chicago's been amazing. We have an event at Clandestino coming up this week, and you can get it at Binny's. So look out for the Barker company, Barker's Martinis, and enjoy. Just shake it. It's completely pre-batched.
You're talking to the Martini Queen, so I will check it out. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So appreciate you being here. Reality Check, America's Next Top Model is now streaming on Netflix. And for more information on Nigel's latest projects in line, you can go to barkermartinis.com. All right,
now, Mark
everybody.
and I will smize for you.
Yes, that does it for
Looking
us on
very
Morning in
fierce.
America. NewsNation Live with Marnie Hughes is next.
I know, thank you so much.
That was great.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.